So I try to keep things positive on my page. I try not to go over too many negative stories. I try not to get into things I don't like. I don't really see a reason to constantly cover things that I don't like about the geek space. So I try again. I know there is many channels out there that make a good living off of discussing things that they do not like. I'm not gonna like every single thing that I see within a geek space, whether it be comic books, video games, movies, board games, whatever it is. Nobody's gonna like everything. So again, there's enough channels out there covering things that you don't like that have, I'm not gonna say they're rage bait, but that's their thing. That is not my thing. I do not want to be in that realm. So I like discussing things that I enjoy. So I have been reading uh Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm trying to get it on camera there. That one and that one. If you have not checked out Ultimate Spider-Man, I would say it's worth checking out. Actually, I had that one upside down, not even paying attention. You can see it. Anyway, this is probably one of the best books Marvel has put out in years. I was probably one of the, I'm not going to say one of the few, but I enjoyed War of the Realms. There's a lot of people that didn't like it. They didn't like the transition from story to story and how quickly War of the Realms was introduced. I enjoyed it. The Jane Foster Thor run, I thought was actually decent. I understand a lot of people didn't like it for many reasons, but Ultimate Spider-Man is really good. It is really good. Like, I was not expecting to like it as much as I do. I got the digital copy because I couldn't get my hands on a physical copy. And as soon as the physical copies became available, I ordered two. I was like, I got to have it. So I haven't read the third issue yet. I believe it's out already. I could be mistaken, but I enjoy that. But also, I wanted to talk about the success of the Rippaverse. Yo, congratulations to the Rippaverse and everything that's going on. Yaira #1 has sold 6,784 copies of cover A, 3,467 copies of cover B, 2,660 copies of cover C, 3,801 copies of cover D, and has made a total of $1.329 million. That is a lot of money. $1,329,364 to be exact. Congratulations to the Rippaverse. I ordered my copy. Hopefully, I don't know when fulfillment is going to start. I'm looking forward to it. I also ordered the Rippaverse magazine. Now, if you remember the 90s, if you're old enough to remember the 90s, there was a Wizard magazine which covered the price of comic books, and it also covered different things coming in comic books. It was more of a price guide than anything, but there's a lot of other things covered, and there's a lot of other magazines in the 90s that covered comic books, and you don't really see that anymore. I think the Rippaverse is aiming at that audience that remembers these things and doesn't have these things really anymore. So there's a Rippaverse magazine. I guess there is a comic book inside that magazine. Salvage PI, I believe is the name of it. I'll get more to details when I get the magazine, and I haven't really looked into it too much. I saw that it was a Rippaverse magazine with, I guess, a mini comic book in it, and I thought, yes, I'm getting that. I'm picking that up. I actually picked me up some Rippaverse merch as well, so I'll have some Rippaverse t-shirts. I've been wanting to do that for a while, kind of been holding off. But yo, congrats. This is a big deal. It's a very huge deal. I enjoy things in a comic book space that actually give fans what they want. I read Ultimate Black Panther #1. I enjoyed that. I thought that was even good. I don't know where Marvel is going with the Ultimate Universe. Probably what they should do, just my opinion, they should cut back on the book titles and probably just keep everything with the Ultimate Universe. Start from that Spider-Man, that Black Panther, that seems to be good. And I think they would probably get more people to read because it is kind of hard keeping up with all of the different titles. But anyway, I digress. $1.3 million dollars for the Rippaverse. Congratulations. That's a really big deal. That means that every comic book they have released so far, every graphic novel has been $1 million campaign, million plus. That's huge. First two, I think, I sum number one. As a matter of fact, let's look at the numbers. Let me go to the campaigns and see. So I sum number one campaign made $3.7 million. Now that's just in books sold, and I during the campaign. So there's more books that were sold after that. This is what people don't pay attention to with this. So yeah, that number is huge. I can only imagine what the number was after that. Probably gargantuan. Probably a lot more than that. So that was ISUM number one. ISUM number two made didn't go, there it goes. $2.3 million. Some people saw that as a failure. I don't understand that. You can't expect, well, personally, I didn't expect ISUM number two to have the same exact numbers as ISUM number one, mainly because there's a lot of people who supported it, the initial run, for the sake of this being something independent, and they probably weren't truly comic book fan. I'm not gonna say they weren't comic book fans, but they probably don't keep up with comic books like that. So there was bound to be a drop off. So now when you get into Alpha Core, and again, a lot of people had some things to say about that Alpha Core campaign and the sales. For some reason, I cannot see the Alpha Core camp. Okay, here it goes. I was clicking on the wrong thing. So the Alpha Core campaign did, I want to say it was 1.3 million, and both ISUM number two and I think Alpha Core, the price of the books were a lot less than ISUM number one. And I think based on the success of that initial ISUM, the Rippaverse was able to secure some better deals when it comes to probably printing, the as far as the paper and things of that nature. I'm sure they got better deals on all of that because they're generating return customers. When you generate return customers like that, you tend to get some better deals. So again, Alpha Core 1.3 million. We saw Yaira at 1.3 million. Here's another thing they have going: the Yaira fan art competition. Now I'm gonna tell you right out the gate, my favorite two. Now I used to draw. I wanted to be a comic book artist. I've said this before. So I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna make it seem like I'm a pro judge of comic book art, but I think my judge of comic book art is beyond basic. I drew for many years. I even took a few. I think it was one semester. I was going to school for graphic design, and I can't remember the exact title of the degree, but I just decided I really don't care to do school. But anyway, the two that I think are the best. Well, there's three that are really good. The first one is from, his name is Matt McAdam. This picture of Yaira is great. And the thing about art is when you look at it, it has to be symmetrical. There's some people who start out in artistry, they want to draw, and they don't quite get the symmetry of art down yet. You when you look at a picture, your eye, you can tell, okay, this fits. sometimes you look at a picture and it's like, this is a little disproportionate. This is a little disproportionate. And nobody's art is going to be perfect, but some people's art just look more professional. I think this looks like a professional piece right here. Like even if he doesn't win, I think the Rippaverse needs to pick up this guy right here as one of their artists. I think he did a very good job. So the next one, I'll say so I'll go in reverse order. Or I wouldn't say reverse order. So that I'll say that is my number 2. Let's put it that way. That's my number 2. Number 3, the last one on the list, but still good, is I don't know how to pronounce this. It's let me close that back out. Ramateo WSC. I'm probably slaughtering that. I'm sure that I am, but I think this picture is done very well. I think it's a very good picture. Again, everything is symmetrical. Like if I saw this looks like Yara. That's another thing. Sometimes people draw characters and don't really know how to make the faces look like the characters. And this is something that you see pro artists, they can draw a character and yes, that is so and so. How they manage to do that, getting the facial features right and everything, that is something else. I think it's just something that naturally happens as you draw and you get used to doing those things. Okay, so that was number 3. The number 1, in my opinion, Kristen Courtwright, I believe is her name. Maybe this is a she. I'm pretty sure it is. I could be mistaken. This, to me, is absolutely stunning. Like this picture of Yaira right here. Wow, this is really good. This is really good. Like when I saw this, I was like, wow, I am impressed. Out of those 3, I think right now, as it stands right now, to me, the winner of the fan art competition should be one of those 3 right there. Maybe I'm mistaken. Some people might say something different. This is one that I didn't see the other day. Now, this is a 4th. All right. So I got to have a 4th. Oh man, this might take the spot, that number 3 spot. Yeah, I'm going to say this is taking the number 3 spot. This is a pretty good run. And that one was done by Jeremiah Blackwell. Very good job, sir. That's very well done. I really like that picture. And this one right here by Adam Miller, not bad. I've just never been a fan of the painted look when it comes to comic book art. It just never attracted me. Not my thing. But Rippaverse doing its thing, gaining fans, gaining traction and popularity. People really enjoying what the Rippaverse has going on. And I think personally that the Rippaverse stands to be one of the best new comic book companies in the independent comic book space. My humble opinion, there's many people that might disagree. They might not like it. We all have. Here's the thing about commentary on YouTube that I wish more people would understand. My opinion is not law, but your opinion is not law either. I like the Rippaverse and I have opinion about it. You might have a contrary opinion, which you're allowed to have. We all have our likes and dislikes.